Oh, so Lucas, what are we talking about in today's episode of Wiki Weekdays?
Wait, Wiki Weekdays?
Oh yeah, we do those now. Let's just put the clip in from Iron Man of like Don Cheadle be like, look, I know I'm not Terry Howard, let's fucking do this.
Look, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Let's move on.
I just
Drop it. All right, I'll drop it.
We're doing things differently from now on. Let's continue. So with that out of the way, far away Lucas, we'd like to explain to the lovely weekday audience at home what today's topic is.
So we are going to be talking about War Machine, and you'll have to remind me on the name, because I don't know much about War Machine.
Well, it's Don Cheadle, but also known as James Rhodes, Earth 616. And you can find a link to the wiki we are referring to for this episode in the description below. But we'll start, as we often do, at the beginning, with the biographical information of Colonel James Rhodes, aka the War Machine. So, real name, James Rupert Jim Rhodes. Oh, that's a rough middle name.
That is, yeah.
Like all the other Marvel characters with cool last names, what does Jimmy Rhodes get? Rupert. That reminds me a little bit of that amazing shitpost that goes around of, oh, here's what things in America are called in the UK, and the one for fish sticks is just Rupert's fingers.
Oh.
Yeah, it made me so uncomfortable. Anyway, current alias, the War Machine. Aliases, Commander Rhodes. That's not an alias, that's his fucking rank and name. Electro, hang on, Hulk Machine, Iron Man 2.0, that's rough. He was Iron Man, then he was Iron Man 2.0. Iron Patriot, The Mighty Atom, The Pilot, Rhodey, Shellshock, Whiskey Mike, Var Machine. So I'm guessing that's what Whiplash calls him, with his Russian accent. Speaking of Terrence, we need to talk about Terrence Howard. Did you ever hear why he's not War Machine anymore?
Was it not just like pay dispute?
It was a pay dispute initially, yes. Like he was annoyed that Robert Downey Jr. was being paid more than him, even though Robert Downey Jr. was the star. But also behind the scenes, he went a little bit crazy. And this is fucking true, Lucas and folks at home. Be a fat bar below talking about it. He invented his own personal brand of mathematics intended to prove that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, called Teriology.
What?
That's fucking real. And he's obsessed with it. And that's one of the reasons, like, oh, fuck, just get this guy off set. It's fucking weird. But it's really funny, though, because I recently rewatched Iron Man 1. You have him looking at the prototype arm going, next time, baby. It's like, no, it's not. It's Don Cheadle, baby. Characteristics, gender, male, height 6'1", weight 240 pounds, eyes brown, hair brown. Unusual features, while Rhodes had the war wear, his body was covered in several mandalas, but these were not noticeable in his clothes. Formerly scarred. So he must have been in an accident and then got healed. Much better than he did in the movies where he turns up with robot legs. I will say though, like one of the best just single shots in all of the MCU is where Vision accidentally knocks down War Machine, he collapses, and then Falcon comes up to apologise and Tony Stark just like no shots him.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just casually holds his hand out and just fucking repulsor blasts him in the chest. Anyway, so history, we won't go into that, but we will, as we often do, just like hear a quote from the man himself. That quote is, he doesn't want to talk with James Rhodes, fine, he'll just have to take a meeting with War Machine. Oh, that's rough. No one wants to go to a meeting with War Machine.
No.
You don't want him there, do you?
Like, that's probably why I'm guessing they rebranded him to like Iron Patriot and all that shit.
Yeah, they talk about it in the movies, don't they? It's like the branding of War Machine was really fucking bad, especially when you've got a minigun for a shoulder cannon. Iron Man, the design is sleek. Yeah, it can kill untold amounts of people, but at least you can't see that on the suit.
Yeah. It's not pointing in your face at all times.
One of my favourite little details about that is that the War Machine armor's just shit. like Joe, like in Iron Man 2, when he like fires the missile and it just don't work.
Oh yeah.
It's just shit. It doesn't work. So,
doesn't he go like, oh, it's time to drop the hammer because like Justin Hammer made it and it just doesn't fucking work.
It just doesn't work. It's like, oh man, why did I fill it with guns from a guy who shits at making guns? Anyway, powers and abilities, and this is where the fun stuff usually lies. So, powers, Rhodes has no powers of his own. That's contrasted somewhat by the very next sentence on this wiki, which reads, cybernetics. After being injured, Jim Rhodes was rebuilt as a cyborg by Tony Stark.
Holy shit.
His body upgrades included artificial limbs made of vibranium and titanium cyberware, surgically implanted life support in his chest cavity, a bionic replacement eye, and cerebral governing circuitry implanted into his brains. Together, these new cybernetics provided him with a number of new features, including not limited to being Raiden from Metal Gear Revengeance. Fucking that's what happens to Raiden, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did not know. In the comics, James Rhodes is a fucking robot. His abilities include, but not limited to, eidetic memory. Rhodey possessed computer-like data storage and retrieval memory, allowing him to recall everything he had ever seen or experienced since the cybernetic upgrade in perfect detail. Yeah, which is one of those details that I love in RoboCop, where like a criminal confesses to RoboCop, and then he's like talking to the big bad. It's like, why is it a big deal? It's like, he's a fucking robot, moron. His brain is admissible as evidence in court because he records everything. And he's like, oh shit, yeah. I never thought of it like that. So, technoforming. Jim Rhodes was also capable of assimilating machinery and technology. Is he the T-1000 now? Did Tony Stark turn his friend into the T-1000, incorporating outside systems into his War Machine frame at will? So he could just like pick up technology and incorporate it into his armor,
Fuck you, why not?
including other weaponry. It says here that his War Machine armor could duplicate the versatility of Stark's modular armor, but with any weapon or device handy instead of pre-constructed interchangeable modules. In hazardous conditions, War Machine could also rebuild him when damaged using raw materials, doing things such as cannibalizing raw materials like the hydraulics of a motorcycle to create new legs, or slapping his disembodied torso onto a tank and co-opting it to create a new body. What? Like, why would you get rid of that power?
I don't know.
You could be completely invincible and unable to die and suffer any real lasting harm. Power supply, like the original Iron Man, this War Machine relied on his armor to survive. What was left of his organic body relied upon the cybernetic life support, which now drew upon power from the War Machine exo frame.
Oh god.
Basically, he became RoboCop. He became RoboCop with T-1000 powers. Fucking hell. What the hell? How did I not know? And why is this not in the MCU? One of the things about Wiki Weekdays, I got it right, I didn't make a mistake, that is like so much cool shit that is just waiting to be plumbed.
Yeah.
And just co-opted by the MCU. It's like, fucking pull that shit, that sounds awesome. Like, I love Don Cheadle though, because he has perhaps my favourite spoiler, like accidental spoiler leak in the MCU, where he was doing an interview before the release of Endgame, and the gimmick was, he wanted to say something, and that's super mundane, but is a spoiler, and he took it so seriously because he sits there and looks at the camera and goes, well, during Endgame, I'm on a conference call. And he is!
He is.
Fucking love it. Anyway, abilities. Skilled engineer. Rhodes served several tours in Southeast Asia, studying while in the service to become an aviation engineer. Skilled aviator. He's a skilled helicopter pilot. Skilled combatant. Rhodes' military training made him very skilled in hand-to-hand combat. He also trained as a boxer as a younger man. Do you really need to have boxing skills when you're a fucking robot?
When you've just got 80 weapons attached to your arms.
I do like, though, that bit. Is it Iron Man 3, where he's in the armour and they're trying to open it up with the blowtorch? And he just opens it up and punches one guy, then gets knocked out.
Oh, yeah.
But he gets that one good hit in and it's fucking worth it. Then we have here, equipment. The War Machine armour. So the War Machine armour is a sophisticated steel body armour created by Tony Stark, designed for various offensive utilities. Like superhuman strength, the suit is capable of lifting over 100 tons. Superhuman speed, even when not travelling for extended distances, the armour enables the wearer to move and react at high speeds, which makes sense. Like, if you can wear it while flying at 3 times the speed of sound, you need to be able to, like, some of the reaction has been taken care of by the suit.
Well, I think they show it a couple of times in the MCU, don't they, where essentially the AI, and, you know, to start with Jarvis, is like thinking for Tony before he needs to act.
Yeah, he plots out like where he needs to fly because he's going so fast that the human mind couldn't possibly come up with that, which makes me think, like, does Tony Stark really fly the armor?
I
doesn't
put it
really
on cruise control.
Yeah, he's basically just following like a set of commands already decided by an AI. So superhuman durability. The armor is very durable, capable of withstanding a tremendous amount of punishment. It can survive high caliber bullets, rockets and torpedoes, although it will take damage eventually.
Yeah.
So that sounds so blasé. Just surviving rockets, but it takes a little bit of damage. Just a little bit. I like this as well. You just listen here. So like unibeam repulsor rays, like high-tech laser weapons, Gatling gun. It fires lasers, but put a fucking minigun on it. It's so dumb. I fucking love it. And then we can end on just some notes and trivia about Colonel James Rhodes. You happy with that, Lucas?
Yeah, of course.
It says here that so. Notes. While second armour worn by Rhodey when filling in for Iron Man was referred to as the War Machine, Rhodey went by Iron Man until Tony Stark resurfaced from his apparent death. Okay. Nick Fury has classified Jim Rhodes as a power level 7 while wearing the Mandroid X power armour, and a level 8 while wearing the War Machine armour. So he's slightly more of a threat wearing armour designed by Tony Stark. There's some trivia here, but the only one I like is they specify the day he was killed by Thanos.
Oh no.
like, fun fact about James Rhodes, he died. So that's not a fun fact.
Oh god.
God, I love comic books, and I hope people do too.